As already, okay. And in first place, I must explain how this relationship has been studied. Both are abstract constructs, so there are different theoretical approach too. It depends on theory approach, our study the thing and procedure. Sometimes the accessibility to the participants determine how will be the assessment, if this will be face-to-face or by phone or sometimes online. It's important taking into account non-cognitive variables as education, age, or gender. Nowadays, the most important research has been performed in chronic illness as multiple sclerosis, congenital heart disease in adolescents and young adults, but in not clinical samples as adolescents with mental health issues in the family, as mothers with depressions, and older adults that are comparing with youngest adults and middle age. Middle age is an important stage of the life because they are in high level of activity and diversity of responsibilities. So it can be supposed a high executive functioning. In this research, I work with Salasso and Cunningham executive function model. This model has 3 levels. The first, have a flexibility analysis. This is you continually are analyzing the same problem. In the algorithmic level, we formulate and maintain in the working memory rule systems at different levels of complexity. In the implementational level, it's probably the performance brain. In the prefrontal cortex, principally. In this level, these authors propose a model of regulation emotion. This means that the stimulus is processed by thalamus and sent to the amygdala, which generates an initial tendency to approach or avoid the stimulus. This is a first answer. The anterior cingulate cortex serves to initiate the reprocessing of the information via ventrolateral prefrontal cortex. And then the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex with rostrolateral prefrontal cortex playing a key. In this, until this moment, Broca area, it's an important role because they are leading in a linguistic way this process. It's important taking into account orbitofrontal cortex that plays a more direct role in regulating amygdala activation. Finally, dorsomedial prefrontal cortex has shown to be involved in aspects of reflective emotional processing. With this context in mind, these were the tests that I used in my research. In first place, I applied the neurological and psychiatric history questionnaire that was developed in Mexican population. I applied the Beck anxiety inventory, the Beck depression inventory, with the aim to have only participants without anxiety and depression. In assessment, the social readjustment rating scale, it's an inventory that consists of 43 stressful life events sorted in the descending order. The highest rank event gets 100 points, and the lowest ranked event gets 11 points. The coping strategy inventory was developed in English, but has a version in Spanish, and the participants were asked to write a detailed description of a situation that caused some stressful problem in any of their everyday environments in the last month. Then they qualify for a statement using a 5-point Likert scale and ranking the statement based on how well they used them during the stressful problem. And finally, Wisconsin card sorting test. It's an example of iterative process. This means the participants must analyze the key in the cards, color, shape, or number. And Tower of London, that is planning a problem-solving task. The results. I analyzed the results with Spearman rank correlation coefficient, and the intensity of the stressful event correlate significantly with 3 dimensions of the Wisconsin card sorting test and one adaptive coping strategy, sorry. Specifically in the subscales of neuropsychological tests as Wisconsin card sorting, I have 2 dimensions that were related with one adaptive coping strategy as problem solving. In an analysis by gender, I found some surprises. Men's groups show a multidimensional relationship between Wisconsin card sorting test and emotional expression. In women group, 3 Wisconsin card sorting test dimensions were related with emotional expressions, problem solving, and social withdrawal. Additional total time of Tower of London was associated with emotional expression. Surprisingly, emotional expression has a multidimensional relationship with Wisconsin car sorting test, and one dimension of Tower of London. For explaining the results, I must take into account again the model of emotion regulation from hot and cold executive model, as I explained before. In this model, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is crucial for Wisconsin car sorting test and Tower of London in an effective performance. They are properly called executive functions. In recent research in an R9 rehabilitation center for addiction, used the transcranial direct current stimulation in the treatment of substance abuse disorder with success until the first month after the intervention. This stimulation was directly in dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. So it's possible attribute the improve in these participants in executive function measures, risk-taking behavior to the effects of this stimulation. Were also associated with significantly reduced craving. So this confirms the importance of dorsolateral prefrontal cortex area in executive function and adaptive behavior. Additionally, in a longitudinal study, found that the preservation of emotion regulation ability is possible until executive function it's working efficiently. When it starts to decline, they show greater recruitment of the amygdala and areas of the PFC, prefrontal cortex, when they perform executive function tests and in regulating the emotion. They attribute these changes to the white matter integrity in uncinate fasciculus. And in the authors taking into account individual difference as compensatory strategies in the context, in the assessment of executive functions. So in agreement with hot-cold executive function, it's possible to attribute a key role to dorsolateral prefrontal cortex in this research. Was found an association with adaptive coping strategy as problem solving. Additionally, non-cognitive variables as gender play a differential role. Men are prone to recruit additional cognitive resource to emotional regulation. In this association, it's important taking into account contextual variables. In the case of this research, was the intensity of the stressful situation. And thank you very much for your attention.